It's parenting education on Thursdays, but I haven't really came up with a thoughtful. No, that's see, play on words. So it'd be the parenting education on Thursdays. My name is Jeremiah. I'm a certified parenting specialist. Anger management. Okay, so my credentials, they're all wiggity waggity whack. I'm a anger management specialist. I'm a health and wellness coach. I'm a parenting education specialist, and I'm a CPR and first aid instructor through the Red Cross. So today we are talking about parenting education. Each week I am trying to provide some type of live, if you will, free class to which I go over various topics. On Mondays, it's Mad Mondays. On Tuesdays, it's Let's Talk About It, health and wellness. And on Thursdays, it's parenting education. So it being Thursday, here we go. I was thinking about what I really wanted to talk about whenever it came to parenting education for this week. And I started thinking about resentments. And I started really thinking and wanted and will talk about the fact that parents are so hesitant to sometimes act or do things because they don't want to create resentments in the future, because they know that they had resentments towards their parents in the future. And so it becomes this I don't want my kid to have resentments towards me, but then they end up doing actions that will cause their children currently to have resentments towards them in the future. And it's funny because it's like one of those, I try so hard to not to be my parents that I end up becoming the exact parent that I didn't want to become in the first place, which is wild. So that being the case, let's talk about it. It's easy. It's easy to fall into this, I don't want to do or become my fear, that by having the fear that you don't want to become the thing that you fear, you become the thing you fear. It's a conundrum, okay? If you have kids, if you have children, if you want to get better at talking to your children, if you want to answer that question inside your head of if you are a good parent, there are a few things that you have to understand. Your kids in general, are smarter and resilient and brilliant in so many aspects that you, me, and everyone else do not give credit for. Kids nowadays are wickedly smart. I know when I say wickedly smart, I mean like they're more smart than their own good. And the problem that parents have nowadays that I'm seeing and studies are showing are that parents are not giving kids the benefit of the doubt. Well, I gave them the benefit of the doubt, and they screwed me over by doing exactly what I thought that they were going to do. And like that was the point. The point of letting your kids fuck around and find out is the point. You need to let kids figure it out. And that's the part in our society that we're too scared. Well, it's a dangerous world. It's like, if I let them go off and figure out their own devices, they're going to make bad choices. No, the kids make bad choices because you put them in small little boxes and little categories and you say, this is how it's going to be. And well, when's the last time someone put you in the corner and told you that's and this and this is how it's going to be, period? It's like, did you listen? No. And if you did, then you got the spirit beat out of you. And it's like, are you happy? When it comes to kids and comes to parenting education, a lot of it is, the kids have to figure it out on their own, but they have to come to the conclusion. They have to come to the conclusion as much as you, as a human being, have to come up with your own conclusion. It's funny because it's fundamental being human, right? But whenever we become parents, we're like, well, when I was growing up, I went through this, or this is how my parents treated me, or XYZ, fill in the blank. And we either want to repeat that good action, but the majority of the time we don't want to repeat these type of actions. And so what happens is a lot of the times we try to prevent our kids experiencing the childhood that we experience, but then they end up consequently experiencing the same thing we wanted to avoid by trying to make them avoid it. Because our parents were also trying to help us avoid some of the things that they experienced. And it's like, we're too good for our own good. But we forget that we're humans, and the whole point of life is learning and figuring out what works and what doesn't work. And whenever we start interfering with that with children, well, that's where the resentments actually start growing, believe it or not. A lot of the times that's where the resentments start being seeded, and then in the future that's where they sprout, and you're like, well, why do you have so much contentment towards me? And then the kids are like, well, you either didn't punish me enough, or you punished me too hard, or you didn't give me a chance, you didn't let me learn, I didn't get to have fun. And it's a vicious cycle, especially whenever it comes to the parenting education. It's like, it really is a vicious cycle. And a lot of the times the way out of the vicious cycle is to give kids the benefit of the doubt. Well, I did give them the benefit of the doubt, and they betrayed my trust. They did exactly what I thought they were going to do. You know what? I'm not going to give them a chance because they're going to screw you over. That's what kids do. Kids are going to screw you over. They're going to push your buttons. They're going to take things to a 10, probably 9 out of 10 times. And as parents, that's where we have to find the tolerance, the understanding, and the compassion that, just like you and me, we had to figure it out, and they have to figure it out. It's funny because a lot of the times we have to remember that we're human. But the way that we don't treat each other like we're human is absolutely bizarre. Have we gotten so caught up in ourselves to which we cannot extend that generosity, but also that compassion towards like the younger generation? I feel like it. I feel so. But we're also in a world that we're in a constant state of we have to have the next shiny thing. And then we are having a problem with allowing kids to be bored. We should be okay with being bored. But a lot of the times we're not okay with being by ourselves with our own devices, with maybe not having like our phones, not having our technology, not having the way that we, not having something constantly stimulating us. Does that, know what I mean? I think we also have to have an honest conversation with ourselves as if we want what's best for our kids. Because if you're a parent watching this and you're questioning if you're a good parent, you're probably an okay parent. You're probably not the greatest parent. And you're probably contributing to a lot of your child's bad behavior. Now you can recognize it or you don't have to. I have three children, to which I can tell you, boys, girls, there's things I did right, there's things I did wrong. There's ways that I could have been better, but I absolutely took responsibility that I haven't always been the best parent, and that there's things that I've done that have contributed to my kids not fully understanding how to respond to situations, which is co-regulation and self-regulation. But as parents, we have to take that responsibility and say, okay, maybe we haven't handled the situation correctly. You know, maybe I need to learn to be a better dad. Maybe I need to learn to be a better mom. Maybe I need to learn to be a better grandparent or uncle and aunt. I don't care. However you want to phrase it. Maybe we as adults need to take that responsibility, because kids are fucking awesome. Just, I mean, really amazing. Well, there's some shithead kids, yeah, and that's a direct reflection of parenting or lack of. If you don't want to hear that and you don't want to take the responsibility, then you're going to shift blame. If you shift blame, then you're part of the problem. Get the hell out of my face. If you notice, I'm not saying just you, it's us. As adults, we have to start taking responsibility for some of the bad behaviors and thoughts that come across, like especially the young people's life. But we don't blame them for it. See, that's the problem with our society, is that the adult, the older generation, doesn't want to take the responsibility. You fucked up and you don't want to admit it? That's your problem, not mine. And then it's just a vicious cycle that goes on and on and on. And it goes downstream, and all shit goes downstream. And then you look around and you're like, well, I think the kids acting like this, or why aren't they doing this? I mean, it's like, take responsibility. You allowed it. Tacit approval. You've seen things weren't going how they should have been going, and now it's like, find me a young generation that doesn't want to call you out on your bullshit, because they will, which I think is wonderful. Actually, I find myself working easier with younger generations than working with older adults, especially if the older adults never learned accountability. If there's anything going on with, you want to talk about parenting education, younger generations, like I'm 31. So when I say younger generations, I'm going by tens, not this whole millennial, exennial, coronial bullshit. I mean, like, going by tens. My 30s, the 20s, the tens, you know, under the tens, from birth, children. We have to take that responsibility. We have to have that conversation. If you see, let's say, someone that is younger than you by a 10, right? So if I'm 30, if I see a 20-year-old that they're trying to figure their shit out, and I see that they're struggling or they're not responding to a situation correctly, that's where it's my duty and it's my absolute obligation, but honored obligation, to offer, hey, have you thought about approaching it this way? Whenever I was in my 20s, I know things are not the same, but have you thought about approaching it this way, or giving them some type of advice, not chastising them, not criticizing them, not damning them, not making fun of them, not poking at them, not yelling at them, not getting annoyed with them, just, hey. And if they don't take your advice, okay, it's not about you, it's about them. Be on the sidelines until they're ready to, hey, I think I might need help. Okay. What about if you're 30, I'm 31, and someone is 10 years old? Or let's say it's my son and he is 4 years old. He's about to go and be 5 years old in August, okay? So let's say that that's the case. And, you know, those little Easter eggs that for Easter you hide candy in little small plastic eggs. My sons, both of them, like to hold on to them, and they've kept them kind of as toys, and they'll put things in them, and Easter's over with, but they're still holding on to their little plastic eggs. And so whenever they try to put the eggs together, sometimes they don't align correctly, and they get really mad. And so they try to put it together, and at first they try, and then they try, and it's not connecting. And so next thing you know, they're getting really aggravated, and you'll watch them like absolutely implode. And okay, it's like they're being loud. They're obviously in distress. What do? You grab the egg and say, well, the hell of it, and you throw it across the room? No, because you just taught them to do that in the future. That resentment. You can say, okay, well, hey, do you need help? No, I've got it. Which a lot of the times, that, or they'll say, hey, Dad, can you help me? Well, I've gotten to the point where now they're getting to the point where I'll help them, and they'll go, oh, Dad, can you help me? And I'm like, well, try it yourself. I don't want to. Remember, they're 4. See, being a good parent, right, the parenting education, is being curious, but also having some patience and some curiosity. Why are they so interested in trying to put things together? And you're like, this is so easy. Why are you making it harder on yourself? They're not making it harder on themselves. They're just approaching life the way that they feel that kind of with that the curiosity, but you can't kill the curiosity. So if I took anything of parenting education, if I teach anyone anything, it's like find a way to invoke that young baby you, that child you. Like, don't live through your children, but live with your children. Don't you remember how much you wanted your parents' attention at some point? Well, my mom was horrible. My dad was horrible. My childhood was horrible. Okay. Don't you remember how you wish that you had a mom that would do things with you? Your dad would do things with you? See, it doesn't matter where you came from. You might have came from the streets. You may have came from nothing. You may have had a really shitty childhood. Well, if you had a really shitty childhood and then you have kids, well, maybe you trying to be the parent you wish you had would be the best action. And if you had a really good childhood and you don't feel like you're raising your child how you wish, perhaps you try to be the parent that you had. A lot of the times when kids act out, it's because we're not paying attention to them, which is absolutely true. That's actually very true. And we find out very often that is like, we live that. And it sucks too. There's that internal like struggle that you know deep down that I'm not giving them the attention that they deserve, and I'm not giving them the attention that they need. And so you have an option, you have an opportunity to go, okay, well, I'm going to put my phone down and I'm going to give them the attention, or I'm not. And if you don't, and they end up not behaving the way that you wish that they behaved, that's where you have to take the accountability and you have to take the responsibility of saying, hey, it's my fault. It's my fault that they are acting out. And if you find your kids acting out and you're getting annoyed, they're picking up on you. They're picking up on you. They're picking up on how you respond. And if you're getting annoyed that they're getting annoyed, maybe you both need to have a moment where you guys reset with each other. You do know that, right? You do realize that you can have a reset moment with your kids to where they're getting aggravated, you're getting aggravated, and you can say, okay, wait. Would you like to reset? Would you like to restart this? The majority of the time, kids are receptive and they're wicked smart, like I said. And a lot of the times they will absolutely take you up on that. Yeah. You get that, you get that interaction. Guess what? Ask them, what's wrong? I don't know. Ask them what's bothering them. You can ask children, if you talk to children as they're adults, if you talk to them with that respect and that dedication and that dedication along with the attention, they'll surprise you. They'll start responding. But if you talk to your child as a baby, like they're a baby, and then they start acting like a baby, that's also your fault. They're your baby, but at some point you have to treat them that they age and the way that you wish that they would react or act. Does that make sense? I'm like, I think it makes sense, but like a lot of the times whenever I talk, things might sound good, and sometimes like I'm like, well, could probably state it a little bit better, but I don't know. I think being a parent is one of the coolest jobs ever. I do. And I think that if you give yourself the allowance, if you give yourself the patience and the dedication, that it is so rewarding. You don't have to have kids yourself. You can actually work with kids. You can have neighbors that have kids. You can live vicariously through your siblings' kids. You could know that I don't want kids, but you could at least understand why the psychology happens of why kids are acting a fool in Walmart. You know what I mean? You hear? It's just a curious thought. I thought about the resentments. That's why I really wanted to talk about the resentments tonight. The resentments you have and we have towards our parents are direct results of back in the day, they could have done better, but they chose not to. But it's now our responsibility, if you have resentments with your parents, this is where parenting yourself. If you have resentments with your parents, you need to have that discussion. Because if not, imagine you're holding on to this little angry version of you, a young, angry version of you, of where it all started. If you don't have that conversation, or at least with yourself at the very least, you're going to forever hold on to that angry little version of you. That sucks. Because at some point you have to decide, am I going to be able to let it go? Now, letting it go doesn't mean forgetting. There is this wonderful, beautiful soul, very beautiful soul that I know of, that she's made it very honorably that she forgives, but she won't forget. And she doesn't want to forget because she doesn't want to get hurt again. Which at first I started kind of challenging that, but then I started thinking about it, and one of many conversations, it was like, that makes sense. I don't want to get hurt again. I don't want to let people that have previously hurt me back into my life just so they can hurt me again, because I know how they hurt me and I don't want them to hurt me, and I don't want them to hurt. Hi, Jana, good to see you. I'm good. I seen Jana Compton. No, going back to what I'm saying. It makes sense. But do you want to be that on that side of things when it comes to your kids? Where in the future they're going to resent you and not want to talk to you because you hurt them? But a lot of the times that is where we get fearful. We get fearful towards doing and saying the wrong things or upsetting our kids because we don't want them to have that resentment towards us. But that's not what I'm talking about. Children create resentments towards actions or inactions that parents committed towards them at some point in their life. Children do not hold resentments towards parents that uphold boundaries that both sides, parent and child, have mutually agreed on. Does that make sense? I'll try to say it again, just in case. Children hold resentments towards parents towards action or inaction at some point in their life. Something that happened or didn't happen. Children do not hold resentments towards parents that uphold boundaries that both sides, child and parent, mutually agreed upon at some point. You with me? If you tell me you cannot have your phone until you clean your room, you feed the dogs, and you take a shower, that is a boundary. As a parent, that is a boundary. This is what I'm asking, and if you complete this, this is what I'm going to give. Children do not hold that as a resentment towards their parent long term later in life. Children will hold resentments towards their parents if the parent decides an action to which does not make any fucking sense whatsoever. You can't have your phone because you acted out and we're just not going to have that in our house. And yeah, you can have a phone when you're 18. You just gave them the finish line. You just set the date of when and how quickly they can get the hell away from you. You didn't give them any hope. You didn't give them any chance to fix whatever it is that they did. You just went on to the attack because in life, people have attacked you. And so you have, unfortunately, identified your child as an enemy like everyone else. But you're wrong. If your kid backtalks to you, first, you have to make sure you're on the same page. If someone says mean things to you, you're probably not going to be in the most reasonable state. You're going to be a little elevated. Your cortisol, your anger is going to be really raised. Someone calls me a bad name. Okay, you know what? I don't appreciate that. I'm gonna take a moment. I want you to take a moment. Yeah, go to hell. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna take a moment and I'm gonna breathe. Don't even have to say that, but I'm gonna walk away. And when I'm calmed down, I want us to talk about that. Well, fuck you. Okay. I'm already setting the premise. I can't control you. I can only control me. I do not want to lash out at you as the child in anger. So I need to walk away. Walk away. Let my cortisol calm down. Remember, that's the 8 minutes. Think reasonably, as best as you can, of how you want to respond. In with the fresh air. Out with the bullshit. And then when time is, yes, Jana, check yourself before you wreck yourself. Check yourself before you wreck yourself. After you've checked on yourself, what is it that I am going to ask from my child? I am the parent. You are the child. First, you don't talk to me that way. I don't appreciate it. It's not needed. I want to start over. So you can tell your child that. Well, I've done that in the past and that didn't work. Yeah, execute it better next time. If you are the child and you called me a name and we're on that level, we're here, right? Right now. I'm parent, you're your child. You will not talk to me that way. That is disrespectful. I don't appreciate it. I'm not going to call you names. You don't call me names. If they continue on, they need to continuously have a moment where they calm down. Do not elevate to their level. That's the wrong thing to do. If you get in a shouting match, you're meeting them at their level, right? Fire only fights fire. So what you need to do is take another step back. When you get so mad and you want to roar, take a deep breath and count to 4. Daniel the Tiger. And again, it's like a dance. You didn't get the step right. You have to take a step back, go back. 44 breaths. I don't appreciate you talking to me that way. And I'm not going to let it go, and I'm not going to move on until we are on the same page. Are you good to talk? Do you want to talk? You can ask your kid, hey, can we talk? Oh, well, if I give them that permission, then they're going to feel like they're equal. And I'm mama, I'm daddy, I'm in control of you. That right there is completely what is creating this turmoil. You are teaching them to be better humans. You're teaching them to be adults in the future. You're teaching them good coping skills and self-regulation and co-regulation. You're teaching them that. You're showing them how to respond to stressful situations. They might feel like they're here, but they don't know what you're trying to do. And if they do, then they need to respect it. Hey, can we talk? Okay, you're not in the state of talking, huh? Well, we're not continuing. We're not going to pass go, and we're not going to collect $500, $200, $300, whatever Monopoly is. We're not going to collect the $200 until we talk about this. Come on, we're supposed to go to the store. We're supposed to do this. I'm supposed to go to my friends. You might want to figure it out real quick then. You want to talk about it? You do? Oh, great. You will not talk to me in that disrespectful manner. I don't appreciate it, and I don't deserve it, and you don't deserve it. Well, you've done that in the past. You're not perfect. I'm trying. And I would really appreciate it if you would try with me. At this moment, if you get on the same page in this kind of clarity moment, ask, would you like to reset? If they say yes, you gotta let that shit go. Look, they're kids. They're just trying to figure it out. I don't care what age. If they're under you, they're kids. They're just trying to figure it out. Yeah, I would. Yeah, sure, whatever. Okay. Look, you got upset because I asked you to take out the trash before we left the house. Then you called me a name, and I didn't appreciate it. Please don't call me a name. Yeah, fine. Can you please take out the trash, and then we will continue to go. Fine, whatever. Don't backtalk to them and say, stop with that attitude. They know what they're doing. They're trying to provoke you again. Okay? Like, this is where you kind of start. This is where you kind of go into that motion of trying to have that conversation. If you haven't done this ever, or if you've done it but it didn't work, or if you have issues with this is a lot of the times where people will actually hire me. And I kind of will mediate between the two, especially with anger. And I'm a bipartisan party. I'm Switzerland. I'm just gonna call you guys both out, and you probably will both hate me at the end. And that's actually where I'll come in. It's like, wait a minute. Here's some ground rules. If not me, other wonderful souls. I just hear lately that's where I've come in. But it's just making sure that you keep the playing field fair. Because you're not teaching, like I said, going back, if you treat children like they're babies, they will exhibit behaviors like they're babies. If you treat children like they're the adults you wish that they to become, you have to give them the leniency, but you have to also give them the dedication that you're going to say, okay, this is how adults talk, okay? And you kind of obviously you match that with the level. But it's a very interesting whole ordeal. So that was the conversation, the resentments. It kind of goes all into it. Does anyone have any questions, comments, gripes, or complaints? Just let me know. Alrighty. Well, I guess if there's no other questions, comments, gripes, or complaints. Oh wait, no, there's. But how do you stop the argument from going too far? You have got to stop it. So if you're in an argument with your child, the moment you realize that it's getting out of hand, you can call it out. Especially if you have a child that you know that's smart. Like, the moment you realize that argument is getting out of hand, this goes with anyone. Call it out. Okay, wait. Not you said something wrong or you are doing it, but wait, hold on. I feel like we're getting out of hand here, and I hold on. Wait a minute. No. Stop. This is not healthy. And I really want to, I want to have a healthy conversation with you, but this has gotten out of hand. Let's take just a few minutes, step away. Let's come at this from a different angle, because this isn't good for you and this isn't good for me. What you're doing at that point is you're actually showing their interest. Why should they give two shits about giving you a moment to yourself? I can't stress this enough. Being completely honest and transparent with your kids is sometimes not necessarily, but sometimes it is the best necessary approach. Does that make sense? So how do you stop the argument from going too far? You stop it. Nope. No, wait. Hold on. Stop. Does that make sense? I'm getting hearts. It's hard to, of course it's hard. Yes. No, Janet, it is 100% hard. If I hope that I'm not giving you the impression that it's easy, but it's how worth it is it to you? Do you want to have a relationship to which is like, hey, I care about you and I love you and I want you to know that you're loved and that I'm here for you when and if you're needed. That takes time. Anything that is worth it is going to be hard. It does take time. It's hard, not just takes time, but it takes a lot of patience. But how worth it is it to you? That's probably one of the hardest things you'll ever do is creating boundaries with your kids. And you could say, hey, like, ugly tears, like, I love you. I do love you. I want us to get along, and I am trying to build a better life for both of us. They might be little shits for a while, but give them the benefit of the doubt. Maybe they will understand a lot more than you might realize. And they're going to break your heart. Kids are going to break your heart. Okay? They're going to do dumb things. They're going to say dumb things. But this does go into a deep... it's hard not to be strict, but not fun mom too. But you can be both. You can be a fun mom with boundaries. Here's my question. Too much fun. Yeah, not too much fun. That's okay. That is like anything ever. Drinking, drugs, going to the casino, food, sex, all of it. Too much fun will ruin it. I know it's fun to have fun, but too much fun is not, it doesn't turn out fun, because then boundaries get blurred, and it's like, you know that when you're having a good day, you enjoy that good day and you have all the fun that you want in the world. But when that fun day's over and you need to be more sincere, that is where you need to take that approach to going, wait a minute, hold on. We need to take this. We need to take this down a notch, and we need to approach it a different way. Does that make sense? It's an interesting thought. It really is an interesting thought, I tell you. I don't want my kids to hate me. But I know that they're going to break my heart. So here's the what I was going on before. Conditional or unconditional love. Do you love your children and your spouse and your friends? Do you love them conditionally or unconditionally? Unconditionally, I will love you regardless of what you say or what you do. I love you for you. Conditionally, I will love you as long as you don't do X, Y, Z. Now, if you love someone unconditionally, it does not mean you're going to put up with all of their bullshit. But it does mean that they're going to break your heart, sure. But you can love someone unconditionally and still have boundaries with them. And that's, I love you unconditionally, but I have to have a boundary. And this is my boundary. And you don't have to call it boundaries, because a lot of times the boundary word gets taboo. You can say, this is what I need. These are my needs. What are your needs? Because how you allow your kids to treat you is how they will treat others. You're the first line of defense. That's what you signed up for whenever you became a parent. Don't like it, shouldn't have had sex. Hey-haw! You're the first line of defense. Well, you have to have an honest conversation. What, you thought it was all play and no work, and all play and no work makes Jack a dull boy. Well, all play, no work. You're gonna find out you got some work later. It's gonna be difficult. It's gonna be hard. It's that whole conversation. Someone said, I want a kid. They go to God. They said, God, I want a kid. God goes, I don't know if you're ready for that. I'm ready. I want a child of my own. I want my baby. Okay. Are you sure? Like, I'm sure. God goes, okay, you're ready for those nights that you stay up, hoping that they come home, hoping they're not out. They're infants and they're crying and they're not going to stop crying, and then you have to find out, are they poopy butt or they're hungry? Are you ready for the nights that they find their special someone, and that special someone decides that they don't want them anymore? And so they're so sulking and crying uncontrollably in their room, and there's nothing you as a parent can do to consolidate them? Are you ready for the time that the world shows its true cruel colors and stabs them in the back? Their friends stab them in the back. Their employment stabs them in the back. And they become very confused. Are you ready for the times that they are overwhelmed with emotions and hormones, especially if they're teenagers, and they make some bad decisions? Well, if you put it that way, that's conditional. Abso-fucking-lutely. That's unconditional. And I'll be here. Are you ready if they decide to disrespect someone? Are you going to account for their actions? Hold them accountable? Absolutely, but I'll still love them. I don't have to agree with all of one's decisions, but I can still love you. You know, statistically, at some point in your life, you're going to know some type of serial killer or some type of really evil person. And you might even have some type of love towards them. That doesn't make you an equally bad person. Don't justify their bad actions. But unconditional love says, I love you regardless. But hey, obviously I have to keep a boundary between us because you're a serial killer. And you like to go kill people, stabby, stab, stab. And I ain't about that. But I'm going to love you from over here. Okay? Okay. Stab, stab, stab. Stop! Okay. I see a laughing face, so I guess something resonated. I'm gonna love you regardless. You gotta find that love within yourself. That's where parenting yourself. It's gonna be scary and you're not gonna have it all the time, but that's okay. It's okay to be an okay parent. It's okay to be just okay. Aim for okay. Don't aim for perfect. You're never gonna be a perfect parent. It doesn't exist. You're never gonna be a perfect person. Doesn't exist. Be okay. Be good enough. Be a good enough parent. Be a good enough adult. Be a good enough person. You're not going to get it right, okay? Guess what? Shit. I'm going to have to get better next time. Stop judging me. If people judge you, well, look, there's 8 billion fucking people in the world. I'm pretty sure you can do without those people in your life. If they're immediately in your life, then and you guys have to get along, then you can at least set your boundaries. 8 billion people and I have to hear that shit? Oh, hell, please, come on. Like Medea would say, oh, hell, get down the road. You just got to get down the road. Sometimes you got those negative people, you just got to let them go. Just let them go, honey. Just let them go. All right. Anyways, is there any other questions, comments, gripes, complaints? You guys are wonderful. Thank you for watching. Well, stay superly duperly awesome. I like Medea too. See, it is a black man pretending to be a black woman, and I am a white man pretending to be a black woman that is portrayed and played by a black man. Perfect. No, Tyler Perry is awesome. I love Tyler Perry. I do like 26, 27 different accents. So if you got offended by that, get over it. Like, it's not out of spite or hate. It's out of absolute joy of love of the craft. All right now. All right. Love you guys. Have a wonderful, superly, duperly, awesome, amazing, fantastic day. And thank you for being you. You're wonderful. I mean it. Bye.